Okay, so for the next one, it says a parallelogram ABCD has vertices and it gives us 3 points. It says find the coordinates of the fourth coordinate, which is D. As a math teacher, you would think that I would have graph paper at home, but apparently I do not. So, like you may be doing right now, I am improvising with some notebook paper, and I'm going to graph these points out. Let's see, trying to get it all in the frame again. Here we go. So I'm going to draw myself a coordinate plane. I'm going to, looks like my coordinates, my largest coordinate goes out 10 this way. And it's only positive numbers as coordinates, so I can just build out this part. Okay, so now that I have my coordinate plane, I'm going to graph the points. It says A is at 0, 0. I should use a different color. And then point B is at 2, 4. Point C is at 10, 4. And it wants to know where point D is. Well, it does say it's a parallelogram. If I connect these, that makes sense, obviously. I need to figure out where point D is. Here's the thing with a parallelogram, the opposite sides, as you know, are congruent. And this segment right here is exactly 8 units, so I can count out 8 units. And we have this point here, which is at 8, 0. So point D must be at 8, 0. So our answer here is A. Okay, number 9. Which of the following is a property of all rectangles? A rectangle, again, before we look at the answer choices, we might want to consider what a rectangle is. Rectangle has the 90-degree angles. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are parallel. The diagonals are congruent. And they bisect each other. So now let's start looking at the answer choices. 4 congruent sides, definitely not. Diagonals are perpendicular, no. Diagonals bisect the angles, no they do not. 4 right angles, that is true for all rectangles. Number 10, I'm sure it's in focus. Oh, it's so blurry. There you go. ABCD is a rectangle with diagonals AC and BD. So here is our rectangle, A, B, C, D. Diagonals are AC and BD. AC is 2x plus 10 and BD is 5x. Find the value of x. So for this one, because the diagonals are a triangle are congruent, I can set this equal to 56 and solve for x. Okay, number 11 is another graphing problem. It says ABCD is a rectangle. Find the coordinates of A. So again, I'm going to use my coordinate plane. You could even use the same one, honestly. This one has negative numbers. You know what? I'm going to draw another one. Because otherwise it's going to overlap and it might be confusing. Okay, so here's my coordinate plane. What are the coordinates here? It says B is at -5, 0. B at -5, 0. It says that C is at 7, 0. D is at 7, 3. And it wants to know the coordinates of A. Well, it does say it's a rectangle. The opposite sides would be congruent, so this must be 3 units here. So from 0 to 3, so my coordinate for A must be at -5, 3. And that would give me a rectangle. So then I'll look at the answer choices and choose the coordinate -5, 3. 12. For rhombus ABCD, find the measure of angle 1. So now I'm going to zoom in again. Hopefully it'll focus. There we go. For rhombus ABCD, find the measure of angle 1. Well, in a rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular, so it must be 90 degrees. Then for 13, find the measure of PRS and square PQRS. It's a square. It wants to know just this angle here. In a square, the diagonals bisect the angle, and the angle has to be 90 degrees because it's a square. So 90 divided by 2 equals 45 degrees. Number 14, choose a pair of base angles of trapezoid ABCD. Well, A and B are base angles, and D and C are base angles. Not A and C, not B and D, A and D, nope. It is D and C. 15, in trapezoid DEFG, find the measure of angle D. Well, remember we have 2 parallel lines and a transversal, so therefore these 2 angles are supplementary. 180 minus 136 equals, what does it equal? 44 degrees. 16, the hood of Olivia's car is shaped like a trapezoid. The base boarding the windshield measures 30 inches, 30, and the base at the front of the car is 24 inches. What is the width of the median? To find the median of the trapezoid, we have to take the average of those 2 numbers. So we're going to add 24 plus 30 and divide by 2 to get 27. So it would be B. The length of one base of a trapezoid is 44 and the median is 36. The other base is 2x plus 10. Find the value of x. So 44, the median is 36. The top here is 2x plus 10. How do we do this? Well, 2x plus 10 plus 44 divided by 2, so taking the average of the top and the bottom would equal 36. So from here I can solve the equation. Multiply both sides by 2. I get 2x plus 10 plus 44 equals 72. 2x plus 54 equals 72. And x equals 9. So the value of x is 9. 18. 18, given trapezoid ABCD, which is shown with median EF, which of the following is true? Well, EF is the average of BC and AD. So you would add BC plus AD, divide by 2, and you would get EF. 19, PQRS is a kite. Find the measure of angle S. With a kite, this angle is the same measure as this one. First, we need to find the total measure of the interior angles, so we're going to use this equation to find that. The number of sides is 4. 2 times 180 is 360. So the total measure of the interior angles of a kite is 360. Then from there, we can take 360, subtract 124, subtract 36, and we're left with 200 degrees. That 200 degrees has to be broken up evenly among those 2 angles, so we need to divide by 2 to get 100 degrees. A. 20, JKLM is a kite. Find JM. This measure here. With a kite, the diagonals are perpendicular, so we have a right triangle. We can use that right triangle to find the length of JM. Focus, there we go. So 8 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. 64 plus 25. That comes out to 89 equals c squared. Take the square root of both sides. Just so happens, square root of 89 is in the answer choices just like that. Number 21, find x and measure of angle WYZ in the rhombus. In a rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular. That means that these two angles add to 90 degrees because the three angles of a triangle have to add to 180. 180 minus the 90 degrees equals 90. So x squared plus 3x plus 20 equals 90. And then we need to solve for x. What we have actually a quadratic here. So I'm going to subtract 90. We'll get x squared plus 3x minus 70 equals 0. From here, the only way to solve it is to factor it, like you may remember from algebra. And I took this type of problem off the test because I know we didn't practice this as part of our homework, but let's just finish the problem out. Okay, so in factoring this, I need two numbers that multiply to negative 70 that add to 3. And those two numbers are 10 and negative 7. They multiply to negative 70 and they add to 3. So then, now that I have my factors, I need to set each of those equal to 0 and solve for x. So I get x equals negative 10 and x equals positive 7. Because x minus 7 equal to 0 would solve to this. Now there can only be one right answer. With the negative number, if I were to plug that in, I would get negative 10 as a measure of an angle. A negative measure of an angle just isn't possible. So this is not a correct answer. The only correct answer is x equals 7. So I found x, and now to find the measure of WYZ, I can plug in 7 and solve for it. Again, this one is not on the test, so you don't have to worry about remembering how to factor for the problems. Okay, well that is it for the practice test. Remember, make sure to upload this to Schoology as a PDF. Just attach it to that assignment, the same assignment that you printed this from. And then you'll get credit for that. Once it's submitted, Schoology will allow you to take the Chapter 6 test. So take the Chapter 6 test, and then you'll be done for the week. Have a good one. Bye, guys.